Welcome to ShadowNotes. Today, a case that makes even skeptics go quiet. A real address, 3860 Carolina Street, Gary, Indiana. A house that police reports and newspapers called by many names. Most often, the Demon House. Let's go in order. In November 2011, LaToya Ammons, her mother Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children moved into this single-story home. Winter in the air, frost on the porch, and that's when what later would be dubbed the 200 Spirits case began. In December, despite the cold, black flies swarmed the screened-in porch, many, and kept returning no matter how they were killed. A smell of damp, late-night steps from the basement, as if someone was coming up into the kitchen. The door was locked, the steps remained. One night, Rosa saw a dark figure pacing the living room, and in the morning found wet footprints, as if someone had walked across the floor with damp soles. Here's what I found in open sources. Early that winter, they sought clergy. Some advised cleaning the house, others drawing oil crosses on doors and windows. 2 clairvoyants bluntly said, "There are spirits here. Many. You should move." But there was nowhere to go yet. The family held the line, and in the house thickened that pressing sensation. Gazes from corners, abrupt wake-ups at night as if someone stood by the bed. On March 10th, 2012, 4 months after moving in, an event after which relatives insisted on help. LaToya's 12-year-old daughter, according to the family, rose above the bed. They pray out loud, and the girl descended. That night, the house fell truly silent, and it was the silence that made it terrifying. From then on, the children, as their mother describes, changed. Low, not their own voices. Phrases like, "It's time to die," and "I will kill you." Eyes bulging, smiles that looked foreign. The youngest spoke to another boy no one else saw. The middle child seemed to be thrown by an unseen force. LaToya felt sudden weakness, heat in her body, loss of control. Not a one-off, an ongoing series. In April, the family went to their physician, Dr. Jeffrey Onyeukwu, a grounded man with 20 years' practice, but even he, by his own account, was scared when he entered the room. Medical staff noted the children's strange behavior. Police became involved, Child Services, DCS, were called out of concern for safety. The family was partially separated, the kids were sent for evaluation. This is a documented turning point. And then, the episode people in Gary still whisper about. At the hospital, in the presence of a DCS specialist and a nurse, the youngest boy, according to the report, first flew toward a wall and then walked up the wall and flipped over his grandmother's head. Someone screamed. Someone began a prayer. Witnesses ran into the corridor. Later papers would contain the phrase, "moved up the wall." Hard to believe, but recorded. Child Services decided to remove the children temporarily for safety. For the mother, a blow. But that's when police and a priest stepped in. Officers, along with Rosa and a caseworker, examined the Carolina Street home. Their radios died, recordings caught a faint "hey," and photos of empty rooms showed a pale, smoky figure. On a return visit, they noted a strange, oily, sticky fluid on the blinds. Wiped clean, it reappeared. This appears in a police excerpt. The family then reached out to a priest, Father Michael Maginot. He listened, reviewed notes, and wrote to the bishop requesting permission to perform rites. First came prayers and a house blessing, a minor exorcism. In the room where prayers are read, adults reported a sense of presence, as if someone breathed down your neck. But that was only the beginning. Meanwhile, DCS reviews and custody hearings continued. LaToya underwent psychiatric evaluation, found to be of sound mind. The kids remained under supervision. The house seemed to live its own life. In the quiet, dishes were heard shifting in the kitchen. Water wept from a tightly closed tap. Dull thripple knocks came from the walls, unlike pipes. When visitors came, silence. When the family was alone, the house seemed to breathe again. Father Michael proceeded to full rites, 3 exorcisms in total, 2 in English and 1 in Latin. He described resistance, pressure, a storm around the family. During one rite, an associate burned a slip bearing a spirit's name. And after the 3rd exorcism, Latoya, for the first time in a long while, said she felt normal. It sounds like a film, yet church notes and testimonies exist. The 2012 denouement. Latoya and Rosa moved from Gary to Indianapolis. In autumn, Latoya regained custody of her children. By their account, the nightmare left with the address. The Carolina Street house stood empty. Locals whispered, "Winter lights on with power cut," children's laughter, but metallic like an old tape. These are retellings, but on paper, signatures, dates, names remain. The story went national in 2014 after a major local investigation, and coverage spread across the country. That same year, paranormal investigator Zach Bagans bought the house. It was examined for a documentary. Sometime later, in 2016, the structure was demolished. Today, the lot is grass, a cracked foundation, and cold drafts on windless evenings, so locals say. Basement steps, soil, and found items were taken to a Las Vegas museum. Now, standing on the empty lot at 3860 Carolina Street, listening to the far hum of the highway, the grass whispers. And then, very close, a breath that shouldn't be there. It may be wind, or the memory of a place, or a story that's hard to forget. You won't believe it, but amid the uncanny, there's plenty of earthbound explanation. Skeptics speak of mass suggestion, family stress, a search for relief from hardship. Believers point to DCS and police records, the hospital wall-walking episode, and the priest authorized to finish the rites. 2 realities run side by side, one with seals and signatures, the other dark and shifting, like air in a shuttered room. The chronology is clear. November 2011, move-in. Winter, flies and footsteps. March 2012, episodes with the children. April, physician, hospital, DCS intervention. Spring, summer, police walkthroughs and prayers. 3 exorcisms, relocation, and quiet. 2014, house purchased by an investigator. 2016, demolition. 2018, a documentary, and years later, debates, new articles, and dramatizations. As for me, the deeper I read the reports and testimonies, the more I feel the icy gaze of empty windows. Maybe it's just the force of a story, or something we prefer not to name. I wouldn't spend the night here, and I advise against arguing with houses that seem to remember too much. What was it really? Suggestion? Collective stress? Or proof that some houses truly live and answer those willing to listen? Tell me what you believe. If you face something similar, share it in the comments. Subscribe to ShadowNotes so you don't miss new accounts of real mysterious events.